Now, let's get started with today's session, The Art of Zero-Touch Deployments. I'm your host for today, Jim Grambois. I'm on the marketing team here at Jamf and really appreciate you all taking the time to join me today. A quick look at our agenda. We'll start today with an overview of who Jamf is and what we do. Then I'll share a bit about Apple's programs, which are designed to streamline your deployments and, of course, fully integrate with Jamf. Finally, we'll discuss the benefits of Zero Touch and see a demo of both a Mac and iPad going through the process and wrap up with next steps. So now let's start with that Jamf overview. Since our founding in 2002, Jamf has been laser focused on helping organizations succeed with Apple. From product design to customer support, helping you succeed remains at the core of what we do. Today, Jamf is the world's leading platform for managing Apple in the enterprise. With our entire focus remaining on Apple, Jamf is the natural choice for helping you and your team succeed with Apple in your organization. Jamf's Apple Enterprise Management Solutions are here to help organizations connect, manage, and protect Apple devices. In today's webinar, we'll be diving into the management and deployment features and benefits that our platform has to offer, though we'll also touch on many of the challenges the enterprise faces when it comes to securely connecting users to resources, efficiently managing devices, apps, and, of course, protecting data and the devices and privacy in general. Here you can see a full breakout of Jamf's platform solutions designed to help manage those devices with Jamf Pro, Jamf Now, Jamf School, and Data Policy, connect users to resources with Jamf Connect and Private Access, and of course protecting devices with Threat Defense on iOS and Jamf Protect for Mac. Additionally, Jamf has many industry-specific and vertical-specific value-added workflows to bring your Apple deployments to the next level, such as shared iPad deployments or our virtual visits telehealth solution. Today, we help more than 60,000 organizations manage over 26 million Apple devices and counting. When the enterprise needs a world leader in Apple management, they turn to Jamf. The world's largest banks, tech companies, most valuable brands, and largest companies choose Jamf for Apple management. This is why Jamf is the standard for Apple in the enterprise. One other major benefit of choosing Jamf for our exclusive focus on Apple is our history and commitment to something we call same-day support. Same-day support means less work for you, faster access to Apple features for you and your end users, and better corporate control for your admins. For 10 years running, Jamf has delivered support for new Apple operating systems, iPadOS, iOS, and tvOS the day they're released, and we have once again delivered for macOS 12 supporting Monterey when Apple made it available last fall. If your end users are craving that hot new feature from Apple, it's easy to kick off a mass operating system upgrade across your entire Apple fleet with Jamf. On the flip side, if you want to pause the availability of a new operating system, you can delay operating system upgrades for up to 90 days, so your team can take the time to test and validate before making the OS available to everyone. Jamf remains focused on helping you succeed with Apple, and same-day support is one major benefit you'll enjoy for choosing an ecosystem management. So that's a little about Jamf. Let's dig into the programs Apple offers to help get you to Zero Touch. To start, I'd like to introduce you to Apple Business and School Manager. These programs share key features needed to enable a zero-touch deployment strategy in your organization, as listed here. Apple School Manager adds some additional tools specific to educational institutions. We'll be focusing on the shared features today, but please check out jamf.com for more resources around the specific Apple School Manager features. Apple Business and School Manager tell your devices the first time they're taken out of the box that they'll be automatically enrolled in Jamf, allows you to procure app and ebook licenses from Apple and remotely deploy and manage them with Jamf, which allows you to set up devices and deploy apps without getting Apple IDs tangled in the works. Best of all, this is all available at no cost. It simply requires you procure your Apple technology from a supported vendor. Here's a quick look at the login portals for each, but really, it's what's inside that makes the difference. Apple Business Manager supports federated authentication with Azure Active Directory. This is a big shift for these programs, and anyone running Azure Active Directory with Apple devices in their environment will want to take a look. One of the best parts about leveraging Azure with Apple Business Manager is how you'll be able to simplify managed Apple ID creation, streamlining the setup and login experience for your end users. Apple Business Manager's federated authentication with Azure AD is something we're super excited to share with all of our customers. A few more points about organizational or managed Apple IDs. These give your organization ownership over Apple IDs that give your employees access to Apple services such as iCloud and Find My iPhone. It's required with iOS and macOS new account-driven user enrollment functionality, as well as Jamf's newest BYOD features, and you can create these manually or with federation with Azure. That's how you get the automated piece of it. This can also be automated with supported SIS systems at schools. For the time being, Azure AD is required for federation with Apple Business Manager. Now, with the knowledge of Apple's deployment programs under our belt, it's time to dig into why you'll love having a zero-touch deployment strategy in your organization. IT is busy. They have to deal with incoming tickets, network issues, provisioning accounts across various services, hardware requests, software deployments, and general help by any user that happens to see them walking through the halls or maybe online in their chat platform. Add the task of deploying new hardware plus needing to physically unbox, turn on, image, and configure every new device, and there's virtually no time for anything else. By implementing a zero-touch deployment strategy, you'll be able to save IT time and money. Let's take a look at the different enrollment options that macOS and iOS offer. On a Mac, you can go old school and image your Macs, but that's a time-consuming task and it isn't compatible with the newest Apple hardware and software, so this may not actually be an option at all. You can also scan your network for existing Macs and deploy an enrollment package, though again, time-consuming, not always accurate, and not compatible with the latest Apple hardware and software. You may rely on your users to enroll their Macs via a unique URL that your Jamf server would create. And this is a good option, though it doesn't guarantee adoption. The responsibility is on the end user to go through that process. Or you can use Apple Business Manager for zero-touch automated enrollment. On iOS, the story is pretty similar. You can use Apple Configurator to manually enroll devices via USB cable. This involves physically touching the device, plugging in. Every single one individually can be tough. You can rely on your users again to enroll via URL. This works great, but doesn't guarantee adoption. And then, of course, you can leverage Apple Business or Apple School Manager for that automatic zero-touch enrollment. You can see here, zero-touch is the way to enroll Apple devices and save your organization time and preserve the user experience. But how does all this communication happen? Jamf Pro communicates to devices via the Apple Push Notification Service, or APNS. This maintains a constant connection to your device, so you don't have to. Commands, apps, and profiles are all sent to the device, and this is known as Mobile Device Management, or MDM. Jamf is management for the whole Apple ecosystem, from Mac, iPhone, iPad, and even Apple TV. You can manage all your Apple devices within Jamf because it's purpose-built to manage Apple. Jamf leverages the mobile device management framework built into Apple's operating systems. You build profiles based on the various settings you'd like to deliver and push them to your devices through that push notification service. Configuration profiles are XML files and can be built right inside of Jamf. And here are some examples of configuration profiles that you can build and deploy to your Apple devices. The basics, such as passcodes and restrictions, different accounts like mail accounts or contacts and calendar servers. different security pieces on your network, and of course, some more advanced customizable settings, such as configuring a dock to have the applications a user needs right when they first see the home screen. Now, MDM for Mac is great, and the framework Apple has available is powerful, but most organizations need a bit more. They need to modify user accounts, send terminal commands, deploy apps outside the App Store, and of course, many more tasks. This is why we have the Jamf agent, a binary that's automatically installed on Macs after MDM enrollment and gives you, the IT admin, more control over your managed Macs. It adds a hidden admin account that you have full control over and grants you remote root access. This enables you to run advanced policies, custom scripts, and install custom software, plus a lot more. Here's just a few of the things the Jamf agent can do, such as installing packages, running scripts, setting EFI passwords, creating user accounts, and enforcing VialVault. So, Apple's MDM framework plus the Jamf agent together give you total control and configuration and management of your Macs. So now, let's chat a little bit about Zero Touch in action. We will delight end users with a fully customizable onboarding experience to provision the perfect Mac, iPad, iPhone, or Apple TV, all deployed seamlessly with the workflow of your choosing. Deployment used to be a long and laborious process, but with Jamf, deployment is streamlined and much more flexible to fit your organization's needs. Let's take a look at what deployment currently looks like for many organizations and how it can be improved. One of the biggest ways we help companies succeed is by moving from a legacy deployment model to this modern zero-touch procurement process. This is an example of the old way to deploy Apple at an organization. As you can see, it required many steps and substantial time. The heaviest part of this workflow was the weight it put on the shoulders of IT, the team often required to unbox, power on, and configure the new hardware. The legacy model is more complicated than it needs to be and does not place the user at the center of the Apple deployment. On the other hand, here's a modern provisioning model powered by Jamf. With Jamf Pro, alongside Apple's free deployment programs, you can order hardware and ship it direct to your end user. Gone are the days of shipping all devices to central IT. Zero-touch provisioning with Jamf Pro can drastically reduce the amount of time IT spends opening boxes, leaving more time for other, more productive work. The best part? There's no IT interaction required to get the device out of the box and ready to work. Your end user gets to enjoy the experience of opening a new in-box Apple product before moving through an onboard experience that you customize. Our CEO, Dean Hager, sums this up best when he referenced that old iMac commercial from the 90s. Jamf's trying to make management so easy that your users can 1. Open the box, 2. Power on the device, and 3. There is no step 3. We've been chasing that vision since 2002 and are excited to continue chasing it day after day. Another way Jamf Pro delivers modern deployment is with enrollment customization, a workflow that empowers IT to easily add custom text, images, and rich media to the enrollment process. End users will be delighted to see a custom welcome message from the CEO and can easily read and accept an end user licensing agreement from there. Enrollment customization is flexible and can be tailored to your organization's needs, so onboarding is best it can be. With Zero Touch, there are 3 basic steps to follow: prepare, purchase, and deploy. To prepare, you'll sign up for Apple Business or Apple School Manager, link your account to your Jamf server, and configure your enrollment settings. Then, order your Apple hardware. Order from Apple Direct or from your preferred reseller of Apple devices, and then assign those devices inside your Apple Business or School Manager instance for enrollment to your Jamf server. From there, send the devices to users. The users will unbox and turn on the device, and the devices can be enrolled and then configured automatically. Here are some of the options you'll have when configuring your enrollment settings, like making MDM mandatory and preventing the removal of it, requiring authentication to complete enrollment, or skipping different Apple setup steps, which perhaps aren't relevant to your users. Next, let's take a look from a user's point of view when setting up a new out-of-box Mac for the first time. We'll start with a fresh, shiny, new M1 Mac that I just took out of the box and powered on. We're going to select some of the basics, such as our language and our country, and the automated device enrollment program from Apple then directs the computer to our Jamf Pro server. We can customize the onboarding experience for users with enrollment customization as we see here. Colors, messaging, different languages are all customizable to help guide your users. We're going to gate server access to the server with SSO, in this case Azure, and the user will log in using their credentials. From there, the system will automatically begin installing configuration profiles and essential software like Jamf Connect silently in the background. You can have as many enrollment customizations as you desire, even YouTube videos to explain how to use the computer once they get in, or different onboarding videos too. Now, we can see the computer getting all of its enrollment pieces delivered to it in real time, and we're finishing up. Now the computer is enrolled and managed out of the box. The user can turn on location services, and Jamf Connect will start up for the first time. We already passed the initial login from Jamf Pro to Jamf Connect, so our user just types in their password one more time to get access to the machine. Optionally, we can also display a feature called Notify that explains to the end user what is getting set up in the moment. We're waiting for Jamf Pro's binary to be installed and self-service right now. This will empower the user to run IT-approved installations or administrative tasks on their own, even if they don't have admin rights. We're also installing Jamf Protect, our endpoint management or endpoint protection software for macOS, and the user can even interact with the device. Silently, we're also enabling File Vault, the whole disk encryption native to macOS, to protect the organization's data. Now, the machine is set up. The user can choose to interact with Jamf Connect in the menu bar. Jamf Connect is silently checking our identity provider for password changes, and we can see it's securely connected in the user's keychain and therefore doesn't need to be touched. We can see here with the notification Jamf Connect successfully authenticated the user. If we open System Preferences, we can see the user was created as a standard user. Opening Security, we can see File Vault was enabled. If the computer can reach an on-premise Active Directory controller and key distribution server, we can use the user's authentication to create a Kerberos ticket and get access to legacy resources if needed too. Now, we're going to simulate what would happen if a user's password got out of sync with our identity provider, or perhaps, as I like to think of it, preventing Mac password lockouts. We'll do that by changing the password on the local account. We'll make it easy in this example, 1234, and of course, you need to know the local password to change it. Within 15 minutes, the user would be prompted to change the password to match the identity provider password. Once we get that synced back up, we'll head back into System Preferences and use our old password, 12345. Old password doesn't. work anymore, we're back in sync, thus preventing keychain lockouts. And this is especially helpful as users can now work from anywhere. As we further the conversation of connecting users to resources, as enterprise organizations enable organizations to work from anywhere, Jamf Connect features just-in-time account creation with identity provider credentials and rules to determine if someone should be a standard or administrative user or not. We'll log back out and log back in, and we'll try an administrator this time. The user account is an admin. There we are. New to version of Jamf Connect 2.6 or higher, where there's pass-through authentication, and they can authenticate only once to create the new user account. If we go into System Preferences and go into Users and Groups, there are admin, and they can do things with admin access like changing options in Users and Groups. Now, here's what the automatic process looks like on iOS. Again, we'll start by selecting those basics. Connecting to the network. Get on the Wi-Fi here. And just like on the Mac, we'll see in a moment, that's when Apple's systems let us know our iPad will be automatically enrolled in mobile device management from Jamf. And there it is. We're going to see some of those customized screens come through again. Here, we're going to agree to our end user license agreement. Be welcomed by Jamf's IT team, and then sign in to our SSO account. And in this case, that is Azure. And once we get logged in, we're going to have some more customized messages load in to help direct employees on your organization's specific next steps in setting up devices. Here you can see some of that rich content, such as a video on how to use the self-service app.
Helps you transform the IT.
From there, once we've completed all of our setup pieces, the iPad will take a moment to configure itself with Jamf's mobile device management features. This just takes another moment. And once it's complete, we're taken to the home screen. You may be asking yourself, after seeing a location services screen, aren't there many more setup options when I'm turning on an iOS device for the first time? Well, as mentioned before, as an administrator, you can choose to show or skip as many parts of the Apple Setup Assistant as makes sense for your end users. And that's what you can do with Zero Touch in Jamf. It's like wireless imaging. Now, let's recap what we discussed today. Jamf Pro is the best way to connect, manage, and protect your Apple fleet. Robust deployment, app management, and security workflows will make your life easier and more productive than ever. Whether you're about to deploy new Apple devices or are looking to secure existing hardware, Jamf Pro can help make you more effective and efficient as an admin. Through the entire lifecycle of an Apple device, Jamf Pro is purpose-built to help. Jamf Pro can be deployed in the cloud or hosted on-premise. We have data centers across the globe, and upgrades are handled automatically on the AWS infrastructure. An on-prem deployment can be run on Linux, Windows, or macOS. Jamf also offers more to help you be successful. Our professional services offer on-location or remote services to customize Jamf for your environment. And we offer certification courses led by our training team that will get your team to become experts in Jamf and widen skill sets. Finally, Jamf has world-class support from Apple experts across the globe, and even offer 24/7 options via our premium support packages. As we talked about today, we integrate with Apple's programs and services. The APNS, Apple Push Notification Service, Apple Business Manager, and Apple School Manager, which, of course, provide automated MDM enrollment and a automated purchasing of apps and books. We also integrate with third-party tools such as Active Directory, Single Sign-On, SCCM, Cisco, ServiceNow, and more through our Jamf API. Of course, we're nothing without our customers, and that's proven with the Jamf Nation community. This online forum is home to over 100,000 Apple IT-focused individuals that learn from each other, discuss best practices, and have access to a wealth of resources and third-party tools. Create a free account today to join the discussion.